You'll all notice a small pot on your table which contains a spirit. Please do not drink it now. If you have, shame. So I'm now going to hand you over to probably the second happiest guy in the room, first being Will's dad, probably. But yeah, so over to Richard.
First of all, I'd like to give you a massive warm welcome to join us here today on the celebration of such a special event, which is the marriage of Will to our beautiful daughter, Grace. So those of you who heard me speak before, I tend to have a bit of a reputation for doing stuff off the cuff and flying by the seat of my pants. And I was told I couldn't do that. So I've got a structure and I've got a plan. I've got a 3-point plan. Number 1 is say hello to everybody. Number 2 is say nice things about my daughter. Number 3 is propose a toast. So if I go off track, if I'm going off at a tangent, please do bring me back. Snap me back into position, okay? Just to let you know that Will and Grace are breaking with tradition this evening in that we're going to be having the speeches punctuated throughout the courses. So you've got me first. So to try and explain it, if you sort of think about the Glastonbury weekend, I'm the sort of warm-up act. I'm on the park stage on a Friday afternoon playing to a slightly bemused audience. Or more likely, I'm the person that's showing you to your tent for the rest of the weekend. So once I'm out of the way, we get on to the Saturday afternoon. We've got an up-and-coming teen heartthrob, which is Will. So Will will be after starters, and Will's on the pyramid stage on the Saturday afternoon. After the main courses, we occupy the Legends spot. On a Sunday afternoon, we have James, father of the groom. So think Diana Ross, think Dolly Parton. And then headlining on the Sunday night, we have the trio. So we have Ben, Scott, Josh. So they'll be channeling their inner Elton John. So 3 rounds of thanks. Too much already. 3 rounds of thanks. First of all, I think the vicar sort of got it completely today, which is the whole idea of community. Life is all about the joy of shared experiences. So it's such a pleasure actually sharing such a wonderful occasion with such people that are dear to us. So first, thanks to you for being here and sharing this. Second round of thanks go to James and Judy. They've brought 2 of the most essential ingredients today. The first one is the groom. The second one, dare I say, even more importantly, is the booze. So all of the drinks today, so outside, inside, afterwards for the rest of the evening, have been provided by James and Judy. So big thanks to them. I've been told that James and Judy are wine connoisseurs, but James did tell me on Thursday night that the bottles of wine which are branded fizzy and juicy didn't make the final cut. So you're okay. And the final thanks, heartfelt thanks to Lisa. Will and Grace had a real clear vision of what they wanted for their special day. So fun, big party, relaxed atmosphere, friends, family, even more fun. So Lisa, thank you for the incredible amount of love, time and care you spent on realising that dream for them. So we're on track. So that was a say hello bit. We're now on to the say nice things about daughter. So, Grace, younger sister of a caring but sometimes boisterous elder brother, it's an oft-repeated story in our household that Sam's first words were "Daddy" and "car." Grace, as the slightly bullied second child sister, her first words were "No" and "mine." But from an early age, she's shown a real steely determination and an ability to get back on her feet during times that have stood her in good stead, both good times and bad times. As a child, she also had a reputation for being incredibly clumsy, knocking over drinks. Oopsie! So those on the top table, you have been warned. Hold on to your glasses. To those of you who've been lucky to hear her, she has a fantastic singing voice. You can tell the hen do. They had a karaoke. So yeah. For me, her finest moment was in Liverpool, when the 3 Graces became 4 Graces when she was hauled up onto the stage to sing at the Cavern Club with a band. So if you bottled Grace, what would you get? She's generous, loyal, kind, fiercely intelligent, feisty, driven. And as a father, darling, I am immensely proud of the woman you've become. What can I say about Will? That's unfair. The son reflects his family. He's a real credit to all of you. Loyal, caring, never more so than last year after Grace had her accident in Bulgaria. You looked after her incredibly well. Incredibly hard-working, handy around the house. Lisa often saves up the DIY for when Will comes down. I have no skills whatsoever, but Will is great at putting together kitchens and putting up pergolas. So there we go. If I was trying to sum Will up, he's one of those people that possesses a pure simplicity of spirit. He's always fun to be with. And Sam aptly sums Will up as the BFG, the big, friendly giant. Finally, it falls upon me as the groom to pass on some advice to the newly married couple. So if you're looking for words of wisdom, there is only one book which is the greatest philosophical text written in the English language. I give you everybody Winnie the Pooh. And I mean it. No. This is a fantastic piece of literature. So I've taken three ruminations from Pooh on life. So, Pooh on the direction you need to take in life. I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I've been. Pooh on patience. If the person you're talking to doesn't appear to be listening, be patient. It may simply be he has a small piece of fluff in his ear. And finally, Pooh on love and happiness. Love is taking a few steps backwards, maybe even more, to give way to the happiness of the person you love. So please join me in raising a glass to the love and happiness for the bride and groom. Bride and groom. Cheers.
So I now have the pleasure of introducing you to the groom. Now, this man I've probably known from the age of 3, and he's constantly served to be a disappointment. Whether it was being dropped from his sixth form rugby team because it was everyone else's fault, to bloody hell, I don't even know what, but it's constantly poor. The best men have covered all of his best things, but I do have some really good stories I want to tell, and I'm happy to tell later, so just come and find me. If not, I'll have your email addresses from this, and I'll be doing a weekly blog. So, without further ado, Good teaching. Yeah. I'm now going to hand you over to the fourth most handsome Oliver in this room.
It's always going to be very hard to follow Richard. I'm going to give it my best shot. Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. We all know I do like to go on a bit. I'm going to try and keep it short, but having read it a few times, it's quite long. A wedding speech is one of those rare occasions when you get the opportunity to publicly say how you feel about the people you really care about. So I'm going to devote the next few minutes paying tribute to some very special people. So I hope you are all ready for it. On behalf of my wife and I, welcome to sunny, thank God, Salcombe. Firstly, I want to thank all of you for making the effort to be with us and making the schlep down the A303 to Devon. We really appreciate it, particularly fighting through the Glasgow and summer solstice traffic. We do have some guests who in particular put in a big effort, so a special thank you to Gerhard, Dagmar, Benny and Miriam for making it all the way from Germany. And Annika for coming all the way from Croatia. Now I want to start with the Miller family. I remember the first time I met you all. It was Grace's 21st. Well, it was the day after her night out at none other than the Mad Hatter, the pub we're all sat on this evening. You all walked into her uni house, dressed to the nines, to find me semi-passed out in my boxers, with Ben semi-passed out in his boxers on the sofa. Now, not the best first impression, but you've all treated me like family ever since. Richard, firstly, thank you for your brilliant speech. As I've already said, it was amazing, and I hate having to follow it. Thinking about what I was going to say about you, the first thing that came to mind was, you are always impeccably dressed. Apart from the odd, very questionable flowery shirt. But you are also unbelievably generous and selfless. This is perfectly encapsulated by you driving to Oxford at 2 a.m. to drop a panicking Grace textbook she needed for the exam the next day. Dad saved the day. I have a lot to live up to. Lisa, I want to start by saying you look beautiful today. You really do. You have always made me feel like your third child. Some might even say your favourite. You've spent hours helping me prep to become chartered, even putting up with me coming back from a work event a few too many deep, making you stay up, particularly to watch me perform wobbly roly-polies down the hall. Your love, caring and patience is one of a kind, and me and Grace have something that we would like to give you. And thank you for everything. We both love you so much. To finish, me and Grace want to thank you both for this amazing wedding and all of the hours you both have really ploughed in to make it so amazing, so special. They've done everything, so they've been brilliant. So thank you very much. Mum and Dad, where to start? Well, firstly, a big thank you from everyone here, as Richard said, for providing the party juice. I'm sure we're all going to enjoy it. Mum, I think you look amazing today. You really do. You have dedicated so much of your life to looking after me, Ed and Arch, you really are the ultimate boy mum. From Sunday night chapel to sat in many an A&E, you've always been there for your boys. I'm lucky to have you and want you to know that I appreciate everything you do for me. You'll always be my biggest supporter and defender, and I love you. And I also have another gift that me and Grace would like to give to you. So thank you very much.
Won't do that. Mine. Woo!
Oh, knock your hat off. We're finally done with the first page. Only 3 to go. Dad, I've always looked up to you and treated you as my role model growing up. So much so I followed you into real estate. I still look up to you today, and when I need some sage advice or a pearl of wisdom, I know I can rely on you to be there. One thing that really stands out to me is how you spent days, and I mean days, stood watching me play rugby every Saturday and Sunday in the pouring rain, and I hope I can show the same amount of dedication as you have when I'm a parent. To summarise, I just want to say overall I'm just grateful to have the upbringing you both have provided me, and I'm proud to have you as my parents. Ed and Arch. Yeah, here they are, the brothers. We have definitely had some sensational scraps over the years, leading to multiple trips to A&E with Mum, broken hands, and even the odd hole in the wall. We've also had some great adventures running around basically like feral animals all holiday, even thrown some fantastic parties at Casa de Oliver, which I'm pretty sure you guys don't know too much about. But if we're honest, we're a great team when we need to be, and I love you both very much. Sam, my newest brother. Before I met the Miller family, Grace said to me, "It's not my dad you should be worried about, it's Sam." I'm glad to say she was wrong, and you've treated me like one of the family from the very start. We've had so many great memories over the years, normally with copious amounts of beer, but I look forward to making many more. Very quickly, because I know the guys will cover this later, but to the bridesmaids, so G, Ella, Annabelle, and Jenny, I want to say you girls look absolutely stunning today. You really do. And thank you so much for doing a fantastic job. And Helena. Sorry. I'm dyslexic, I'm bad at reading. We know this. My ushers, Ed, Arch, and Sam, the brothers, thanks for your help today in church and getting everyone organised. Back to the venue, it was a massive help, with a few hiccups, but we got there. We got there. Josh, Scotty, Ben, my best men. I know it's 3 and it's a bit greedy. Firstly, thank you for a great stag do. I'll never forget the enforced swim in Cardiff Bay and being the local tourist attraction dressed as a poor man's Tony the Tiger, but I did make it out unscathed. Honestly, guys, thanks for everything over the years. You're great friends. We've had some amazing adventures, and hopefully we've got many more to come. Now, saving the best to last, I finally would like to say some words about my gorgeous new wife. I think everyone. I think that nearly everyone here today knows that I met Grace at Oxford Brookes. And for those of you scratching your head at our table names, while living in Oxford, I think we spent more time frequenting the pubs than going to lectures, and these are a few of our favourite pubs. Now, I remember very clearly first meeting Grace. It was in the library in my second year. She was a friend of Ben's on his law course. We bumped into them as we were trying to find a table. I remember thinking, who is this fiery little brunette? Safe to say, she made a lasting impression on me. The only issue with the story is, to this day, Grace still can't remember meeting me. So clearly, I didn't make a lasting impression on her. But fast forward 12 months, we're in our final year, and Ben says there are a couple of girls in his law class he wants to invite over for drinks. We were hosting, and lo and behold, I opened the door to find one to be the little brunette from the library. And I will say, just as stunning as I remember you. She arrived with her housemate Helena, and having some liquid courage, I went up to reintroduce myself. I'm glad to say we hit it off immediately, and luckily I think she actually did remember me this time. By the end of the night, we were all sat around eating McDonald's. For some reason, myself and some of the boys started a food fight. Clearly, I'm not very accurate after a few beers, as I threw a chicken nugget and it left my hand, and I watched in horror as it threw towards Helena's forehead. Now, this is a very big mistake, as we all know from the iconic ballad of the Spice Girls wannabe, "If you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends." Immediately, they were up and storming out, saying how horrible I was and they would never be back. And I effectively went desperately running down the street, pleading forgiveness. Now, lucky for me, I think Helena let me off eventually. Yeah? They did come back, and the rest, as they say, is history. So, I've now been living with Grace for nearly a decade. A third of my life. And as you can imagine, we found out each other's quirks, and I feel relatively-ish well prepared for married life. So I thought I would mention a few of Grace's qualities that I've picked up on over the years. Firstly, you have, and as your father mentioned, an amazing ability to drop, slip, break, knock over, splodge food down yourself. Honestly, it's a skill to be this clumsy. I'm just glad your wedding dress is still looking so amazing, and let's just hope it survives the main course. You're also unbelievably doting and caring to those that you love, which is honestly mostly our little dog Albus, but I'm ready to concede on that one. Others may have noticed this, but if you spend more than 5 minutes in a room, you sporadically burst into song at pretty much full volume. I remember Zoe once said to me, after your trip to Paris, how do you put up with the constant singing? It's an odd one, but I actually quite enjoy it. And luckily for me, she has a beautiful singing voice. You do effortlessly manage to light up every room you walk in, being life and soul of the party, ensuring we all have a great time, even when I know you secretly want to be at home on the sofa with me and Albus. You're also one of the bravest and strongest people I know, fighting back from when you were ill to being unbelievably successful at work, and being so fearless when you had basically a bionic leg fitted in an Eastern Bloc field hospital. Honestly, you make me so unbelievably proud. You are supporting and selfless and always thinking about others and putting your friends and family first, even at your own detriment. But I want you to know that the support means so much to all of us sat here today. But most importantly, you are my best friend. You always have my back. You are my true partner in crime. You inspire me to be a better person, and I'm so lucky and honoured to be the one that gets to spend the rest of my life with you. So if everyone could please stand up. Yeah. And raise a glass to my amazing new wife, Mrs. Oliver. Guess.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and for those who don't know me, I'm James, and I'm so pleased you are all here to celebrate what is a fantastic family occasion for both the Millers and the Olivers in beautiful Salcombe. Now, my first words have to be addressed to the newest Mrs. Oliver. Grace, you look absolutely stunning today, and I just want to let you know, Judy and I are so pleased to have you as our new daughter-in-law, and a big welcome to the family. Secondly, I'd like to thank Richard and Lisa for organising and providing this fantastic wedding, and also to say you must be immensely proud of your daughter today. It's been great getting to know you all, and Judy and I look forward to enjoying many happy family occasions together over the coming years. Now, I think it's only right I move on and say a few words about my eldest son, William Richard Charles Oliver. And the first thing I want to say was Judy and I were very lucky. As for us, William was the perfect first child. As a baby, he used to eat a lot, he used to drink a lot, and he used to sleep a lot. Now, I'm sure all Will's mates here, and possibly Grace, are thinking, well, nothing's changed there then. So did Judy and I make any mistakes in those early years with Will? Well, possibly yes. I seem to remember we obsessed about which names to call him. And we thought William Richard Charles was spot on until a work colleague of mine, having heard the names, was quick to point out, James, I can't believe you've done that. Done what? I said. And Tim replied, you've only gone and called him Willie Dick. Now, I thought Willie Dick got away with that, but actually, that might be your new name. So, Will did very well during his school years, both academically and on the sports field. So it came as a bit of a surprise when he was at his senior school, St John's. Judy and I got a letter from the school confirming that William, aged 17, had committed what was described as a very serious offence while boarding one cold December night in Churchill House. It transpired his crime, and I'm going to quote from the letter, which is framed in our house, involved a number of boys who decided to partake in a naked quad run just after midnight. But the funniest thing was, we were later told by his housemaster that all the boys involved were initially really pleased with themselves because they all thought they got away with it. What they hadn't realised, they'd all become film stars overnight as the whole event had been captured on the school security cameras. I have to say, Judy and I are immensely proud of Will. He's turned out to be a fine young man, and he's achieved a number of firsts for the family. Be careful here. He's the first to become a qualified ski instructor, although after last year, I think Grace probably thinks he needs a refresher course. He's the first to play rugby and score a try at Twickenham. Okay, he was for Cobham under-11s, but it was the national club final. He is the first to get a school detention for streaking. And the one that Judy I'm most proud of, he's the first in our family to be awarded a first-class honours degree when studying at Oxford Brookes University. Since then, Will has gone into the property industry, and he's the second generation of the family to qualify as a chartered surveyor. I wanted to finish by saying that I haven't given Will any marriage advice, but a thought did cross my mind when recently celebrating a wedding anniversary, and Judy said to me, James, do you know our marriage reminds me of a pack of playing cards? In the beginning, all you need is 2 hearts and a diamond. But after 34 years of marriage to you, all I want is a club and a spade. So, well, I guess my advice is, in order to avoid a hole mysteriously appearing in the patio, a wise man always ensures he has a happy wife. Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough for me. I just would like to wish Will and Grace a fantastic life together. And I'm grateful if we'd all raise our glasses to the bride and groom. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great time today. I was until about 30 seconds ago. If you can't hear me at the back, the silence at the front should reassure you that you're not missing out on anything. I'd like to start by saying what an amazing day it's been so far. Thank you both so much for allowing us all to be part of your special day. I'd also like to say a quick thank you to the bridesmaids and how beautiful you all look. And of course, the mothers of the bride and groom, Lisa and Judy. For those that don't know me, my name is Josh, and I have the pleasure of being 1/3 of Will's best man. Now, there is nothing I wouldn't do for Will, and likewise, there is nothing Will wouldn't do for me. In fact, we spent most of our lives doing nothing for each other. I first knew Will when we were 13 and started secondary school. It's hard to believe that this tall, charming, and fourth best-looking Oliver was once a chubby teenager with a high-pitched voice who enjoyed listening to Harry Potter audiobooks. Back then, Will had another love in his life that came in the form of a popular chocolate bar called a Toffee Crisp. 13-year-old boys can be brutal, and being a bit chubby and going to the tuck shop every break time, Will was blissfully unaware that his favourite chocolate bar was to become his nickname at school for the next year. Now, Will being Will took this in his stride and one day decided to ditch the chocolate bars and hit the gym. By 17, Will hit his 5K personal best and was lifting weights like never before. His newly transformed physique was also coupled with wearing brightly coloured and outrageous clothes. During this time, Will also decided to grow his hair, but wanting to be a little different, he decided to plait part of his front fringe in what resembled a rat-like tail. Hard to imagine, I know, given his current lack of hair. By 18, Will was getting more and more concerned that his arms were too big for his shirts and would spend hours getting ready for nights out. On one occasion, we walked to the station and Will started to panic that his high-protein diet was causing him to develop sweat patches. His only solution was to go shirtless in an attempt to cool down. However, to any passers-by, all they could see was a large, semi-naked man lit up like a beacon from the reflection of his white trousers and glistening in sweat coming out of the woods with 3 short men. In all honesty, over the many years of knowing Will, it's fair to say he's developed into a great man and has always been a dependable friend. There are very few people I could say who are as loyal and as driven as Will, but the biggest indicator of Will's character is his love of Grace. From the very beginning when they started going out, it is obvious how much he adores her and would do anything for her, and that has not changed, and I'm certain it never will.
All right, well, good evening. I'm Ben, the second of the trio, and again, on behalf of the bridesmaids and groomsmen, I'd just like to thank Will and Grace for including us on their very, very special day. And what a fantastic day it's been so far. And so much of Grace's hard work and preparation has gone into it. Will, you just sit there and enjoy yourself like you have done for the past year. Hopefully the effort levels will change during marriage. Speaking of the bridesmaids, I mean, aren't they looking fantastic? So thank you, girls, for making sure that Grace looks as wonderful as she does, and that she made it here on time. Also, I would like to apologise to Richard, as I feel that today is completely my fault. When I introduced Grace to Will 12 years ago, little did I know that it would lead to this. Funnily enough, I actually knew Grace before Will, and what a chilled life it would have been had it remained that way. So that being said, Will and I met, nearly 12, 13 years ago. Can you quite believe it? And when the couple announced their engagement, I was overjoyed. And even more so when Will asked me to be one of his best men. A little less so when I realised I was part of a trio. That being said, I would genuinely consider this man as part of my family. But naturally, I did have some questions. What had I done to deserve such an honour? What would I need to do? And then it dawned on me, maybe he just wanted to look taller in the photos and have his hair look better than mine. And when I say it dawned on me, within 2 minutes, he came out and said they were actually the only reasons. So as you can tell, all the groomsmen have full heads of hair, and I feel a little bit mugged off. So it's safe to say that we've been through a lot together, like wearing women's clothing, to sharing a bedroom at university to allow our university house to have a games room. And from that we have some great stories, however, none of which are probably suitable at this time, so I will sort of happily share with you later on in confidence. At the beginning, I struggled with what to write down, so I asked other people that knew him to give me words to describe him. Arrogant, vain, selfish, idiotic, but then you can't really argue with the groom's family, so I've had to put it in. In the past decade, Will has become a much better rounded person, and I would put that down to Grace. And the day, of course, has gone down so smoothly and beautifully, and everyone has played their part. The gorgeous bridesmaids, the parents, and the great families, and of course, the stunning bride, Grace. Saying that, thanks needs to go to the rest of you who have turned out to support Will and Grace a million miles away from your hometowns in Devon, because there is no better way than to thin a guest list than an 8-hour train ride. Will, I would like to think that in times when you have called upon me for help, I've always been there for you, as you've always been there for me. I look back at some of the stuff we have done together, and it makes me proud to have a friend like you. We have some truly great times and have shared really great experiences together. Memories I can honestly say I will never ever forget. I've been honoured to be your best man and want you to know that I look up to you more than you know. It has been a privilege to do this, and I can see how happy you two make each other, and I wish you nothing but happiness in your future together.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And most importantly, Will and Grace. I'm Scott, and I stand before you as the third best man. I'm honoured to have the privilege of speaking on behalf of the incredible couple. Well, a third of it, anyway. As part of my research, I discovered that, according to tradition, I'm supposed to sing the groom's praises and tell you about his many good points. Well, I'm very sorry, I can't sing and I won't lie. I first met Will in September 2011 at Clive Booth Halls at Oxford Brookes University. In walks this blonde guy in a Miami Dolphins jersey, talking about Canada and how he was brilliant at kickboxing. Multiple thoughts went through my head. Who is this shining light of male masculinity? Fast forward a few days later, Will is dressed in white ladies' underpants for a night out and promptly gets jumped by two 16-year-olds. Guessing the kickboxing little pedal. I also used to live with Will for a while in London. What many of you won't know is Will got a nickname from my dad and my brother. He has, since that period of us living together, always been referred to as my first wife. Not a night went by without a message or call asking where I was, would I be home for dinner, why was I back so late? When I finally found myself an actual wife, the first reaction from my dad and brother was, how did Will take? But in all honesty, bud, it was great fun living with you. Knowing there was always someone to go home to for a late night whiskey, or bottle, but you've always been there for me when I've needed it. So thanks for being my best mate. Well, a third of it anyway. Now on to your beautiful bride. You look absolutely stunning today, Donna. It's been so fun the times I've also been able to spend with you. I've known you also since university, and our late night drunken Disney sing-alongs are always still some of my highlights. Judy, James, Richard, and Lisa, thank you for putting on such an amazing weekend. The church, the venue, the dinner, it's all been incredibly amazing. But especially the free bar. That is very much appreciated. So I'm sure from everyone here, we all just want to say thank you all very, very much. Now, if you'd all please join me in raising your glasses to a little toast to Will and Grace. I have known many, liked not a few, loved only one. I toast to you. Cheers.
Cheers.
That was.
Congrats, brother.
So much.
Wow.
Amazing. Thank you. Wow.
There we go.
So
Well done.
done it.
Done it.
Oh, a drink now.
Yeah, we can all. Yes.
Right. Get drunk.
Right, buddy.
Fast it. Guys, see, honestly, that's so honestly amazing.
What a day.
Thanks
Let's
so
go and
much.
celebrate.
Now it's time for a boogie.
Let's go.
Boogie, boogie.